I'm here to talk to you today about how to bring your creative vision to life. Hi, I'm Rick, owner of Black Horse Creative and Reap Jiu-Jitsu Limited. If you want to work with Black Horse, click the link below and we can bring your creative vision to life. That's the sales pitch out of the way. Bringing a creative idea to life is probably one of the hardest things you can do as a creative person. You're full of self-doubt, don't know where to start. We're going to try and break that down for you and introduce our method, turn it into your method and bring your work to life. I'm coming off the back of our third Jiu-Jitsu Invitational event. So Reap Jiu-Jitsu does all the matchmaking, pulls together all the matches, sources the venue, does all of that kind of logistics stuff. Black Horse does all the graphic design, the live stream production, all the video production and the creative and the media leading up to that. I first had the idea, the first event was probably over 3 years ago now. And I thought we could offer something different to the jiu-jitsu scene based on the venue that we had access to, our style and creativity. Also provide a high quality kind of live stream event, live and free on YouTube. The essence was I had an idea. Where do you start? So number one for me is kind of the creative brainstorming, and it basically starts with effectively just clear thinking. So I'll sit down in silence. It's a form of meditation, I guess, and think about, like, harness that idea. So the idea comes to you, and I could do a 2-hour video on like how to get ideas and how to generate ideas, but that's like a separate thing. We're talking about when you've got the idea and you want to bring it to life and the arch of the idea. So for me, the idea was a different type of jiu-jitsu event. So you have to go, okay, what does that look like? Build some structure around it. So your idea has a headline. You then need to develop it. So I literally sit in silence. And I'm a type of person that usually has like podcasts on or like TV on in the background or music on. I find certain types of music really good to work to. And as much as sometimes I hate it, you need silence. You need to let your brain breathe, not be processing other bits of information. Put it all down on paper. So I thought, right, what's my issue with all of the other jiu-jitsu events out there? And I thought, well, usually there's maybe 40 matches, which is far too much. It's even someone like me who's been doing jiu-jitsu for 10 years, I thought that is too much. I can't concentrate on jiu-jitsu for that long. It's not that entertaining. The reason people do that is because often the more people that they have on the shows will sell more tickets, therefore they'll make more money. The athletes will take a cut, a couple of quid of each ticket sale, but actually they end up paying to play because they might say you need to sell 3, 4, 5 tickets to compete on this show. And in order to do that, a lot of times athletes are forking out of their own pocket 20, 40, 60 quid to come on the show. And I thought, well, I don't like that. I don't like that pay to play thing. I'm going to do something else. So I thought, well, I need less matches. So 10 matches. Okay. That means I've got the venue for X amount of time, which is probably a bit less, which means it'll cost a bit less because I won't have to pay the venue to have it for the evening and take over a night where they perhaps might make more money than our event. I'm going to do less matches. How many matches? 10. 10's a nice round number. I'll do 10 matches. How can I make it different? Instead of the athletes coming to me, and especially with it being our first one, I was like, I need to handpick the matches. So I've gone from different jiu-jitsu event. I've now got 10 matches handpicked by me in a cool venue. Spent a lot of time looking at the right venue and I got one. How am I going to sell tickets? I need to call it like an invitational so that it's an event. Where do I set an event up? We'll get to that. So idea iteration basically. So I sat down and thought about all these specific problems with what I've had with current Jiu-Jitsu invitationals, picked them apart, built my own thing. I thought, well, I need to sell tickets so that I can pay the athletes. I don't like that athletes have to pay for them to compete and put their bodies on the line. Higher level athletes, I'll give some money to. Other people traveling from up and down the country, I'll compensate them. I'll pay their travel, cover their travel or expenses or whatever that looks like. Okay, I'm going to do that. In order to do that, I need to sell tickets. So I need to build a promotion machine. So that's almost like step 2. So step 1, I've had my idea already. I've iterated my idea. Step 2, I need to make that a reality. Also, check if there's interest online. So I need to talk about the event. Step 2, design a poster, use Canva, hand draw it, whatever you want. Don't use AI because it's going to look like everybody else's stuff. Create a thing. Show it to some people. Talk to some people about it. They'll pick holes in it, give you ideas. Maybe do a championship belt. Why don't you do this instead of medals? Blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden it's exciting. People like it when somebody has an idea. This is the exciting part of putting an event on. And this is like the intoxicating bit that you struggle with later on down the line and start thinking, why on earth did I do this? So number 2, talk to people about whatever your project or plan is. Don't give, if you think you've got a world shattering idea, don't give away your IP. If you've got an idea for an app that you think is going to change the world and you're worried somebody might steal it, then it's slightly different. But you still need to talk to somebody about it. It might be a partner, might be best mate, might be a dog. If there's interest and people understand why that you're going to do it, it's probably a goer. So now you need to move to logistics. When am I going to do it? You set yourself a goal / deadline. So if it's an event, you need to put a date on it. You need to obviously speak to the venue, speak to lots of venues before this and check their availability, check their dates, do all that lovely stuff. If you are building a piece of software or you want to shoot a film or do a photography project, you need to put an end date on it. That date can move. It can be hypothetical based on other conversations that you had. Studios might not be free, models might not be free, actors might not be free. The software build might take longer than you think, but set a date. Stick a flag in it, and then you work backwards from there. Next step, working backwards. So you've got your date, you've got your idea. There's this huge gap in the middle of all the shit that you need to do to get there. So you work backwards. So you think, what's ideal? What's number 1? What's the best thing? For this last event, it was sell 100 tickets, put 10 amazing matches on, have a really high level broadcast on YouTube. They're 3 separate things that you need to put your head on and work at, kind of parallel to each other. So I go, okay, broadcast, because for me that's one thing I have control over. What's my best broadcast software? I start researching broadcast software, having a look into that, thinking about all of the things that I want within it to make the best live broadcast possible, making that kind of wish list, putting it into Google. What software has XYZ? What software blah, 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 is free and has XYZ? Choose my software platform. Great, okay, that's that boxed off. I now need to start matchmaking. For this, other equivalents might be casting actors. It might be building a software development team. It might be looking at the right software, the best AI software to build an app, to build your prototype for the project. So it's all research at this point. It's messaging people, it's shit tons of Googling, just looking at the best tools to bring your idea to life. Finding the right tools. If you're an artist, it might be looking at specific types of paints in order to bring a certain feel to a canvas. It might be specific paintbrushes for a videographer or a cinematographer, a DOP. You might be thinking, okay, I loved Batman and I want to know how it was shot. I need to look at the specific lenses that they shot. I can't afford to rent those types of lenses, but what's a cheap equivalent? And that's your Google search. What's a cheap equivalent of the lens that they used on Batman XYZ, blah, 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 for these medium close-up shots? Okay, how am I going to get there? And then you build backwards and you think, right, for all of those wonderful things and those dream things, I might need funding. How am I going to get funding for my event? I go, okay, I need to sell X amount of tickets. I've got costs to cover, not just athletes and transport. I need to pay for barriers. I need to pay for St. John's ambulance. I need to pay for the merch, for all the staff. I need to pay some of the staff, referees, judges, stuff like that. Okay, build out my costs. So I know I need to sell X amount of tickets at X price. And for you, it might be film equipment, it might be location costs if you're shooting a film, if you are painting, all your paint supplies, all the time that you might need off work in order to sit and bring your dream to life. All these wonderful things, they all need focus. Then you go, well, how am I going to fund it? Investors, sponsorship, ticket sales, Kickstarters, bundling all of that together. How are you going to finance your project? If it needs financing. If it doesn't need financing and you've already got most of the stuff there or all of the stuff that you need to go, you've got your end goal, you've got your starting point and your ideation. You just need to hit the ground running. If you don't need money to bring your project to life, then you've almost got no excuse. You probably will need money. So even if you're thinking, well, I've got all the camera equipment and I've got a location, blah, blah, blah. Actors, you probably want to pay actors. You're going to get a sound guy on there. You probably want to pay your sound guy, even if it's not regular rate at this point. You're shooting your first indie film, for instance. You still want to have a token there, or if you want to figure out how to look after them. So you go, okay, well, I've got 10 crew and they're all free because they're all students and they're all super excited like me to just make a film. You go, well, actually, what are we going to eat? We're going to be filming for 12 hours a day. So there's kind of always some cost there. If you're happy to just pay for that for yourself, buy pizzas for the whole crew and look after everybody, then do that. The research phase of bringing something to life is something that you can get lost in. You need to be aware that you might get lost in. You don't want to get lost in it because you could spend years just tinkering, tweaking your script, tweaking, actually I might use X lens or Y, or I can't afford that DOP, so I'll shoot it myself, but I need to take some time off work to do it. You can come up with all the excuses in the world. That's why we plant this flag over here and go, this date, I'm going to shoot on that date, or by the end of this year, I'm going to have done X, whether that's shoot a short film, launch a clothing brand, whatever it is. And then when you hit go, it's go time, baby. You need to decide. And I like the best way to keep me accountable and to hit that go button is to shout about it publicly online and say, hi guys, I'm shooting a film. It's called blah, 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 blah. I'm going to shoot on this date. Who's with me? Does anybody want to be a part of it? Because then there is this invisible outside pressure of, I've said I'm going to do something. Not only have I just said it to myself, just telling yourself you want to do something is just a dream. As soon as you start telling other people, it's not a reality yet, it's an idea. They want to see you execute that idea and how well you execute that idea. We all have ideas. Execution is the difference between people that succeed and people that don't. People that can sit down and go, I've had a full day at work, I've put the kids to bed, I've got 2 hours here, I'm going to sit and watch telly. It's not a bad thing. You need rest and recuperation. Or I'm going to spend an hour just like working on my project and researching lenses or messaging actors or matching up athletes and opening up my spreadsheet for the Reap Invitational. They're the people that get things done. So if you're watching this video, I presume you're one of those people that wants to get things done. The best way to get things done is to tell everybody that you're going to do something, because you don't want that egg on your face when you didn't do something. It's okay to try and get something so far and fail. And I think it's important to fail and fail publicly. Nobody will ever think less of you for trying something and it not succeeding. People will think less of you if you say you're going to do something and you just don't do it. You're better off not saying it if you aren't going to follow through and at least attempt the thing, whatever the thing is, or a creative idea, whether it's a jiu-jitsu event or app or whatever. You can say to someone, I've had this great idea for an app where you can look at all the different creators of the moon and you can name them yourself and get your kid to name them after them, and then it just like lives there. And someone goes, oh yeah, that's great, yeah. And then 3 months down the line, you see that person again and they go, did you ever make that app? I was chatting about it to my kids and they thought it'd be really fun to play with. And you go, no, I just didn't really have the time. And they go, oh, all right. And they might not think less of you, but further down the line, if opportunities come, someone says to them, I need an app developer for X, Y, and Z. They're going to think, my mate Rick tried that, but oh no, he didn't actually. Oh, I know Steve, actually, he made this app. So like speak to Steve and all of a sudden you're out of that conversation, which is where, believe it or not, for creatives and creative people, 90% of your work comes from those conversations. Oh yeah, my mate Rick does videography. Oh yeah, has he made anything? Oh yeah, it's on his website. I've got a website with my work on it. Oh, you can have a look at his YouTube channel. Oh, he does Reap. And sounds like I'm fucking blowing my own trumpet here, but I've got a couple of destinations on the internet where people can see things that I've done because I've come up with ideas and then followed them through. And it's really, really not been easy. But I find that if you follow these steps, it makes it a little bit easier. And if you talk about it publicly and say, I'm going to do X, you kind of have to go and do it, or just attempt to do it. I want to be a street photographer. Like, all right, cool, doesn't everybody? But if you're out taking photos and you're posting them photos and like, hi, I did the thing, it's out there. People go, okay, cool. He can, even if it's nothing to do with photography, people go, okay, he set his stall out and he went and did that. that in itself is worth more than doing like anything incredibly well, if that makes sense, or spending 90% of your time poring over the perfection of it. It's never going to be perfect. But the person that ideates, plans, executes, announces publicly that they're going to do it for everybody to see will get more work and do more stuff than the person that just wants to make pure art. It doesn't release a film for 20 years because they're like so focused on the pixel or the right camera or the right film stock that they're going to use, or the timing wasn't right. The time is never right. Just go. Just once you've got your idea, flesh out your idea. Decide when you're going to go live with it. Talk about it. Create responsibility for yourself to go out and do the thing. Once you've done that, follow it through. Execute. However, which way you need to do that. Do your research. Make sure you do your research. You've got the right tools in place to enable you to get what you need to do and go and do it. It's today's life lesson, I guess. Thank you for watching. Check out blackhorsecreative.com if you want to make something cool together. If you're into jiu-jitsu and you like cool clothes, check out reapjujitsu.com. There's loads of stuff on there as well. Thanks for your time. I'll see you soon.